Today I wanted to talk to you about Netflix. Hey friends, and welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to talk to you about Netflix new releases. Now I thought it could be really cool if every now and then I could make a video about Netflix and its new content and just sort of review it for you, not necessarily pick what's best, but let you know what I feel about all the new things that Netflix has brought out during that month or so. For this first Netflix new releases video, I thought it'd be cool to keep it under the new comedy specials. If you're thinking about getting into stand-ups or if you're already a big comedy fan, here are a few of Netflix originals, I think most of them are originals, comedy specials. I wanted to start off with Chris Rock's Tamborine. Now this one has been out for quite a while, but it is Chris Rock's first special in 10 years, so I think that's worth talking about. If you've been a big fan of Chris Rock and you've watched all of his stand-ups before, I don't want to say that he's a completely different comedian, but it's a very different tone in this one. Now, in the past 10 years, Chris Rock has gone through some shit, and he talks about it in the special, so it's a lot more real and a lot more personal. You see a lot of his flaws as a person. He just tells you about them and then tries to find the humor in them. He's gotten divorced, his daughters are growing up, he's going through some other personal issues, so he finds the funny in all of that, but you can tell like it's coming from a very different place. I definitely laughed a lot. He's still got it. I didn't really love the don't trust anything that's the color white gag. I think it went on for way too long, but the rest of it was really, really good, and I'm really happy he's back. I can't wait to see if he does any more stand-ups anytime soon. Now the next thing I saw is called The Specials, and if you're thinking about getting into comedy, I think this is the best and easiest way to do that. But it's basically a bunch of episodes with 30-minute stand-ups from different comedians. There are 2 seasons so far. I think there are 6 episodes per season. Some of my favorites were Gina Gervais, who's a British comedian, and she was hilarious. She talks about growing up in London and her mom coming from Nigeria to London and kind of like what that was like. She was really, really good. I also really loved Aparna Nancherla, I think that's what her name is like. I believe she's from BoJack Horseman, and she's more like an introvert, and she does her entire special with a PowerPoint presentation. Super funny. And of course there was Kyle Kinane, and if you don't know about Kyle Kinane, please look him up because he is hilarious. I love him so much, and I have a huge crush on him, so maybe I'm a little biased, but honestly I think he is hysterical. Also, Fortune's special killed me. If you're looking to learn about a lot of comedians, just watch the specials. You're gonna laugh a lot, you're gonna enjoy it, and it's like, you know, low commitment, if that's something that scares you. The next one I saw was You Magnificent Beast by Greg Davis. This is another British comedian, and I've never actually seen him before. I thought he was really funny. It's not my favorite special that I've seen in the past few months, but he's solid. It was really good. He talks a lot about his mom and the crazy things she says. In particular, I really love the story about the teddy bear he wanted when he was a kid, and his mom couldn't buy it, so she made him a teddy bear. And needless to say, the result looked nothing like a teddy bear, and during his pubescent years, Greg just did very terrible stuff to that teddy bear, so there's a sneak peek of that if you wanted to try it out. The next one I saw was Seth Rogen's Hilarity for Charity. Or is it just Hilarity? I totally didn't know this, but Seth Rogen and his wife have a charity called Hilarity for Charity and is in support of patients with Alzheimer's. Evaluating it solely on the comedy, it wasn't the strongest, but then again, they have very short time to do their thing. It was just like 5-minute set. So some were really good. I thought John Mulaney's set was really funny. I also think Michelle Wolf killed it, but then there were a few that were just sort of like, oh, you know, it's amusing. And then there are other things. There were like different videos, particularly by the creators of Rick and Morty, and that was scarring, but you know, what else did you think was gonna happen? The Muppets were also there, Jeff Goldblum, Nick Kroll, so a lot of really funny people. All in all, I found it amusing, not my favorite one, and it should be noted that it's Seth Rogen, so it's not suitable for all ages. Don't let the charity part fool you. The next one I saw was James Acaster Repertoire. Now, I really don't know where to start with this one. I've never seen this guy before. He's British, and it's a 4-part comedy special, and you can pretty much watch them in any order. They all kind of connect, but the timeline is not linear, so to speak. It's definitely different. I enjoyed it. I thought it was refreshing. I didn't laugh out loud in all of them. I think 1 was solid, and the 3rd I really liked, and the 4th was really, really good. So I guess that just means I didn't like the 2nd. I don't remember. James really commits to the idea that he's an undercover cop, and he has to be a comedian because they're trying to tap into the drug world in the comedy clubs, and that goes on throughout all the 4 parts. That's who he is. So it all connects, and it's kind of funny to hear a joke about this when you heard it in the first one, and by the end of the 4th it loops back to the very beginning of the first one. I think it's original, I think it's unconventional. I think if you like Bo Burnham, they're not similar, like they're not the same, he doesn't sing or anything, but in the terms that they do a very different style and add their own unique quirkiness to comedy. I think if you like Bo, you would like James. And there's a lot of British pop culture references. I don't know, I think it's worth watching at least once. That doesn't sound like a compliment, does it? After that, I saw Ricky Gervais' Humanity. Now, with Ricky, I'm always a little bit worried because I feel like I've seen his special 10 times, but they're different ones, so it's a little hard for me to keep hearing the same jokes. But Humanity was really, really good. He has a lot of comments about everything that's happening in pop culture and news today, particularly about Caitlyn Jenner, and I think it's clever. I think he's going through rings of fire without getting burned, and he does it very elegantly, and I really enjoyed that. I also love, and this has always been sort of his philosophy in comedy, he really explains why he thinks you can make a joke about anything. It depends on the joke, and just because you make a joke about a very sensitive subject does not mean you're making fun of that subject. It just means it's part of your joke. In a time where everybody's like watching what they say and being like overly politically correct, I think Ricky did a fantastic job at tackling that and being correct in a lot of ways, I think. I don't know, Ricky's very controversial for a lot of people. If you like him, you like him. I do. And I would give it a try. I think it's one of his best specials, honestly. The next one I saw, and I'm so happy that this is finally out, was John Mulaney's Kid Gorgeous. The last one we saw was Comeback Kid, so Kid Gorgeous. If you don't know John Mulaney, he's now married, so he keeps talking about his wife and what it's like to be married to somebody who's Jewish. He talks about his French bulldog Petunia, and he always has a lot of kid references which are very cute and quirky and really accurate. And he also talks a lot about college and how it is ridiculous and how they keep asking you for money even after you've left. He kind of nailed it, made me feel really depressed about my years in college and how useless it all is. Kind of, maybe. Yeah, it is. The next one I saw was the Honeymoon stand-up special, and this is a 3-part special between these two newlyweds, Natasha Leggero, or Leggero, she's a very famous comedian, super funny, and her husband Moshe Kasher. I think I totally butchered his name, I'm very sorry. So the first part is her set and she comes out super pregnant, the second one is his set, and the third is the two of them together. I would say kind of just like improvising, telling a few stories about being married, and then bringing people from the public upstage and just hazing the shit out of them. They talk about what it's like to be married, they talk about converting to Judaism because he's Jewish, they talk about their families, about having kids for the first time and what that will probably be like and what people tell them it's gonna be like. It's a really cool concept. I'm enjoying all of these like 2-parters, 3-parters kind of specials, and I love the concept of a couple doing stand-up together. I've never seen that before and I think they killed it. I would love to see more specials like these. Now the last one I saw, and I think the most recent one that Netflix has released, was Ali Wong's Hard Knock Wife. If you don't know Ali Wong, you don't know what you're missing. About 2 years ago, maybe less, she came out with her first special, I believe, called Baby Cobra. And she was very, very pregnant, and she's very, very tiny, and she absolutely killed it. She talks about being Asian and how there are different types of Asians. She talks about trapping a man, and she married this guy who went to Harvard, so she trapped him. And she talks about how feminism is ruining their lives because women could just do anything beforehand, and we knew everything, we just didn't tell anybody. Now she's back, she's pregnant again, and she talks about her first pregnancy, how that went, how it's like to be pregnant again, how she suddenly became very famous because of her first stand-up. She talks about sex, she talks about she shows her underwear a lot. I think Ali Wong is just hysterical, and I'm very happy she has a second one. I don't know if the third one she'll be pregnant again, but I look forward to anything she has to say and do. So that's it, guys. Those are the recently released Netflix specials. I enjoyed most of them, some were just okay, but if you would like to watch any of them, they are now available on Netflix. So guys, let me know in the comment section, have you watched any of these specials? What did you think of them? And if you haven't, let me know which one sounded the most appealing to you. You can let me know in the comment section down below, or you can find me on social media anywhere if you look for Cine Club channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to these videos, you know it helps me out and lets me know what you like to watch. But until next time, I hope you have a great week. I hope you get to watch some of this stuff, and I will see you on our next movie date. Bye!